Can you hear now? Can you hear now?
Give it just a second. It might kick back on. Take a little delay. Anything y'all want to do today? Postures or body parts? Upper back? Where'd that come from? Who said upper back? All right. Upper back's weird. Like, how do you stretch something that's been stretched all day? You don't, right? You got to engage it. So when you engage the muscle, when you take it through its range of motion, right, you're going to get a couple different things. The muscle shortens in length, and you're going to get a release. You're going to get some blood flow. Blood's got two jobs, right? One, clear, take all the old shit away, and then bring in fresh, right? So it's usually in your upper back, it's that squeeze that's going to help release that. Try to get all those muscles activated, and it'll start to feel a little bit better. Anyone else? Lower back. Okay. Lower back most likely is from tension from your hips, right? Hip flexors. So we'll try to open some of those up. Think belly button in, sit bones down, right? Sit bones want to fly up to the sky. We got to go sit bones down. We'll talk that out when we get into some of those positions. Your lumbar spine, there's not a lot of movement there, right? The movements come in the thoracic spine, the middle upper back. The lumbar spine just happy to get some decompression, right? Some lift, and that's about it. The rest is going to happen up top. So what's going to hold the lumbar spine? Your belly button. So think of your abs in like a few different ways. If you think like pelvic floor is going to pull up into that low ab, and belly button's going to kind of hit the middle, and then your shutters are going to hit the top of the ab, right? And you can kind of, I mean, if you're like solid in your engagement, you could pull it all in one shot, then hit it all in one shot. But if you need to think of those little spots to kind of like tune in a little deeper, then think that way. Pull everything up. Anyone else? So I'm a little bit slow today. I'll try to do almost all the poses with you, but I fell down the steps yesterday, so I'm a little bit slow, you know.
Don't you hate it? I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it sucks, but you know.
Not these steps, right?
Nah, I was at the house. I was sanding I was more sanding. I was sanding the ceiling and just, I slipped a little bit, but you know, it's okay. I pride myself on, you know, getting back up. Yeah. Shake it off, and at this age, you're like, all right, man, all right, I'm good. I still got it. I'm okay. Yeah. So I'm just a little sore. Hurt my foot a little bit. So if you see me kind of like breaking out of pose, that might be why. All right, let's play around. Take a nice seat. Close the eyes. You know, talking about that, and I've been like, you know, I've been throwing in some of these little funny, you know, my funny side brings in some of these construction themes and stuff, different things I've been doing just to like, you know, I relate everything to yoga. It doesn't matter what it is. It all will make its way back, right, to the way that you move and the ideas and the focus that you have. You know, for me in my life right now, like working on my new house is like my yoga. You know, it's work, it's hard, but it's rewarding, right? And as I'm going through these different things, even times that are tough, like when you slip down the steps, it's just, there's still a pride that I have, right? From being able to do this work and like messing around different things that I'm unsure of, but taking the time to learn and figure it out and give it a try, right? And it's the same thing you do on the mat. That's our practice right there. In one sentence, there it is. There's things that are unfamiliar to you that you put yourself in a good position to attempt and try and practice. Does it always come out the way you want it to? No. But if you take your time, and you concentrate, and you stay with the breath, and you work hard, it's going to come out pretty good. And whether we're talking about fixing the house or on the mat, then it's those little bits and pieces that you're going to sharpen up. You're going to polish it a little bit. We're not putting up a fresh wall, just like for all of your practices. It's not about the front foot facing 12 o'clock. It's about the little pieces of rooting the top of the thigh just a little bit more, or engaging that belly button first, or softening your face. That's where the play is at. That's where the work is at. The next inhale, let the arms lift. Let the fingertips and the knuckle pads come to root. Let the heels of the hands lightly touch. Bring that breath to the space between the palms. As you tune into the breath a little bit deeper from listening to yourself breathe, all the way up to Ujjayi breath. Where is the work in your breath in this moment? And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. We softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. And sorry, my voice is a little crackly, but I was at the game the other night when Nick hit that game-winning double. Yeah, I was there, so it was a little bit loud. So it was very exciting. Yeah, it was fun. All right, let's start out in child's pose. We'll get into that low back. We'll get into that upper back. So knees are nice and wide, right? Sometimes, like, if this was the case, there's going to be no place for me to let my belly settle, right? So take your knees nice and wide, and then have your toes, like your big toes, touching. And that way, when your arms go overhead and then you soften your belly down, there'll be space for it to settle. It'll feel more comfortable. And then just gently take a look forward. Make sure the pointer fingers are straight forward or turned out a little bit. Right, you can see my fingers here. I don't want them to be this way. I want them to be straight or turned out. I want to start putting the weight into the fingertips and the knuckle pads. I want to start to hug the forearms into the mat, into the middle of the mat. And I want to lift them up. So I'm a little more like an active child's pose here. Now slide your forehead up off the mat. And right away, you're feeling the upper back working. You feel this in your spine like north to south. So from your head to your butt, right between like your shoulder blades. There's a lot of work going on. Keep that. Pull the belly to the spine. Now, as you keep sliding the throat towards the ceiling, soften the chest towards the mat a little bit. You're still working that upper back. Then as you look forward, walk your hands towards the right side. Now we're going to get into the low back a little bit. Push the hands down and forward so you root that left sit bone to that left heel. And then as you come up right off the pelvis, right here in the low back is QL, so you're going to be feeling this a little bit. These low spinal erectors on that left side, you're starting to feel peel open. The erectors right up the spine. The lat is right here. You're feeling all that open up. That's attached to your arm. So the more that you root your left sit bone to your heel, and then you peel above your waist through the ribs, up the arm, you're going to feel that lat peel even more as you walk the hand towards the right a little bit deeper. Next inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. Look forward, get that spine to extend, and then walk the hands towards the left. And then if you push the hands down and forward, you'll root that right sit bone to the right heel, and then you'll come up that right side. You hear me talk about the lats all the time. That's what I tend to feel in this. Is a lot of lat work. Those are big muscles. They're powerful. They're part of your sling, your oblique sling on the backside.
They're part of the action of pulling the hands like from overhead to down. Inhale, come back to center. So think about when we go like from downward dog to plank, right? Those are those muscles working. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Toes are curled. Heels are straight up to the sky. So what's the common tendency? They want to fall to the midline, right? So you might have to sweep them out. Pull that belly to the spine, pull those shutters closed, slide that throat back. Gaze is right across your fingertips. You're feeling that low mountain, just lock in and then work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back, look to your belly, lengthen those sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. Now go slow. Now we've engaged that upper back a few times already. So now we can take it the other way and get a little more efficiency out of our move. So if you want to get into the upper back, we're going to look to our belly nice and deep. That's going to get in that upper back. If you want to get into that lumbar, you're going to lengthen those sit bones towards the backs of your knees even. And there's going to be this nice opener there in the low back. Couple more, and we'll come to that neutral position, that flat back. Lock in that low mountain. Take a couple breaths. Take that right hand behind your head. Take the inhale to the sky. Bring the exhale across the body. So now we're working rotation through that upper back. Let's do 5 on the right. We'll do 5 on the left. Now go slow. If your inhale is 3 seconds, that's how long it should take to take the elbow to the sky. The exhale to take it across the body. So everything starts to work like slow motion here. It's not really slow motion. It's just that's how long it takes for you to breathe. And then after your 5, lower that right hand down. Take a breath. Bring the left hand behind the head. Remember, as you draw your fingers into your head, push your head into your fingers so you engage the muscles in the back of the neck. And then take the elbow to the sky on the inhale, and exhale, take it across the body. Feel where that work's happening in that thoracic spine, that middle upper back. Now, this is my last one. When you're done with your 5th one, lower that left hand down. We'll meet in that all fours again. Notice as this is happening. If it is, you got to pull your belly button in. Just like this is too much, this is not enough. You got to find that sweet spot. Now hold that space as you step back to the plank. And then make your way back to downward dog. You could bend the knees on this first dog. Take a look forward. Make sure those fingers are still pointing forward or turned out. Have the fingers spread. Keep rooting down in those fingertips and those knuckle pads. Keep hugging those hands in. Keep those forearms lifting up. Keep those inner biceps lifting up. Slide that head and the throat back. Now as you push the hands down and forward, take the chest back towards the toenails. There's the big opener. Running up the arms, the chest, and the upper back, and the side bodies. Keep the engagement in the legs, maybe pedal the heels a few. Let the exhale lower the heel down. Inhale, lift the opposite, lift it back up. Exhale the opposite one down. Inhale it up. Exhale the opposite. And just work nice and smooth. Keep the knees, keep their like the track of the second toe with the ankle, with the knee, with the hip. Sometimes I see this like where we're going this way. And that might feel good, but for today, let's just start to track this forward and back. We're trying to turn on some muscles and turn off some muscles. Then come to a neutral position when you've balanced both sides. Now here's those lats. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. As you drive forward, here's those lats, pulling your body forward. Yup, back to downward dog. Keep it going. We'll do 5. Pull, drive into that plank, right? That's a powerful pose. We'll meet back in downward dog after you do your 5. From downward dog, reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Fingertips are blocks. Get that nice space. Keep the weight in the legs. Don't let it go into the arms and the hands. Keep pushing down and hugging in. Draw that left hip forward a little bit. Keep working the legs. Keep feeling the energy, pulling in. Now pull it up from that pelvic floor. Take it right on up the upper trunk, right through the crown. Keep all that power. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1 crescent. Reconnect to the shutters. Reach up through your thumbs. Come into that lead knee so it stays stacked up on top of the ankle. Now go ahead and curl back. Stay under the shoulder blade, so keep going up as you curl back. 1 more breath. Exhale the hands down. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. So you could stay low. You can come up a little higher. But see, my shoulders are back and they're down away from my ears. Then after your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. If it feels good to keep those knees bent in downward dog, keep them bent. If it feels good to straighten them, straighten them. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Hug that knee to the chest. That's how you engage those hip flexors. Root that front heel down and pull it back to you. And then on the back foot, push into the ball of the foot and pull that forward to you. See, I could stay up here to hold the thigh up a little more on the back leg. If I feel like I could hold the thigh up, I want to extend out. Then I'm going to reach my heel back this way. This is also a whole different thing. When you reach out of your heel, you get these muscles to help extend. These are actually shortening here when you're extending the hip. So you're getting some work out of those muscles in a good way. Now, keep the power. When you're ready, inhale, come up, Vira 1 crescent. See, if my knee drifted back, I'm going to have to bend back into it. I'm going to try to hold it here the best that I can, right? But we're not stick figures. Sometimes shit moves. So if it moves, put it back into place. Now reconnect to those shutters. That gets that lift through the thoracic spine. Now with the lift in the space, curl back, move into the space. Beautiful. 1 more breath. And then exhale the hands down, step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 nice breaths. After your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, big reach. Pull that belly and lengthen those sit bones down. Curl back a little bit. Keep letting that back of the heart lift up through the front of the chest. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the tops of your thighs. Sit back. Push down. Here's the attachment coming up here by the hip bone, a couple spots. You're trying to just persuade some of this down. So use like your weight from your upper body and the strength from your arms to root down the tops of your thighs.
Pull that belly button in. Pull those shutters closed. Yep. Push down, rise up, swing the arms up, big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Right hand behind your head, left hand to your elbow. Right, one I tell you all the time, I do this almost every single class. Get this shit to open up. It's a big junction, right? It's a lot of stuff that comes through here. Now, the muscle that you tend to feel when you draw your fingers up is this tricep, but we're getting all this to open up as well. Here's that lat. Use the force feedback to push your head back in your forearm. Now you can stay up nice and straight. Otherwise, this wants to happen. So we come forward that little bit, and then we can work ourselves up straight by using that push. And then exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Swap side two. See, this is a better look, this, than this. Because this is real hard for me to fix. But this, all I got to do is work. I'm pushing back that little bit. And as I feed back front and back, it lets me hold on to things a little bit easier. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Even in your forward fold, the common tendency is going to be to just dump into that upper back. That's why you want to inhale, look forward, draw the fingers back towards your toes like you're pulling your spine out of your waist. You're going to feel this work happen between your shoulder blades. Think again, north to south from your head to your butt, and then go ahead and fold into pose. And keep that hinge happening at the hip crease. It wants to go to the belly. Try to keep it in the hip crease as long as possible. And then at the very end, go ahead and let that upper back go. And that should feel nice. You can inhale, look forward again. You could drag those fingers back to you. And then you can fold into the pose. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. That's it, open that chest, let the back of the heart lift up through the front of the chest, maybe curl back into it a little bit. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front. Right leg forward, left leg back, triangle. If you need to, just bend into this lead leg. That'll give you an idea how long your triangle leg is. We tend to go short in triangle. Now take a couple breaths. Root this left thigh and this left hip back. This is what I always say. This way. Same thing. You might lean forward a little bit. That's because the hip flexors are trying to pull you forward. So we want that. This is a better look than this, right? Now take the arms up. Peel up out of the waist. We're trying to get tall here because we're always so crunched. So we take a few extra breaths, get everything lifted. Now as you go ahead and hinge at the right side of the hip, take the hand inside or outside the foot. Inside will be a little more accessible. Outside will be a little more challenging. Keep the right shoulder rooting back so you're spinning like the bicep forward. Keep that right side body opening up. Connect to the belly and the shutters. Keep your left ear reaching up to the sky. Now, as you hit that belly and those shutters and you get that engagement, rotate the spine. So take the top of the ribs back, bring the bottom of the ribs forward, maybe even start to look up. One more breath. Inhale, come up tall. Bend into that lead knee, warrior two. Elbow to thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek, extended side angle. Right hand to the block or the floor if you want to extend it. Keep it on the knee if you want to have a little more of that hugging in. Same thing, connect to the belly and the shutters. Rotate the spine. Maybe even start to look up like towards your bicep. Power in the legs. Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Step forward. Hands meet, Anjali Mudra.
Nice, y'all. We'll swap side too. If you turn your back toes forward slightly, that'll help bring the thigh back.
Right? So we'll get the top of that thigh to root a little bit easier just by turning your toes forward that little bit. Here we go. Root that right thigh back, that right hip back, the right side of the ribs back. Get nice and tall. Yep, when you are ready, hinge at the left side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block of the floor. Keep your right ear reaching up to the sky. Your left ear is going to try to fall to the floor. Don't let it. Because where the cervical spine, your neck goes, your thoracic goes next. Power in the legs. Feel it come up into the core. And then rotate. Top of ribs back, bottom forward. Maybe even start to look up. Soften your face. Breathe. And then push into the front heel. Inhale is going to come up nice and tall. You're going to bend into the lead knee. Warrior two. Then the elbow goes to the thigh. Stay with your breath. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek. You want to extend the hand down to the block or the floor. Feel free. You want to rotate open. First work from the legs. Get the frame solid, the foundation. Then work through the core. Get the connection. Then go ahead and rotate open. One more breath. Push into that front heel. Come up tall to that warrior two. Then straighten that front leg. Step forward. Thumbs come to heart center. Let your eyes close. Let your thumbs flick your heart out. Take a couple breaths. Full breath in. Complete breath out. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Tree pose. Right foot down, left leg comes up. Open the hip, bring the toes either low, the foot with the toes down low on the leg, or up high in the inside of the thigh. Same thing here. Take that right hip back. Take the right ribs back. Don't worry about the knee. It's probably going to come forward now. We're going to fix that. You could push your hands together and lean back so that your heel is real heavy on the right side and your toes can move. If your toes can't move, you're clinching and you're pulling up the ball of the foot, the big toe mound. So let the toes move here and let the heel stay super heavy. Now push your hands together and breathe like you're peeling up out of your waist. Here's how we're going to now open the knee out. Now go sit bone the heel or sweep your heel forward. See how I'm sweeping this way? And when I sweep, now my knee starts opening out. Take the arms up. Look up. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Exhale, release. Swap side two. When you're ready, doesn't matter if you're low or if it's up high. If you're at your knee, as some of y'all are moving up, just make sure you're pushing the heel into like the inside of your thigh, not into the side of your knee. Remember, knees work terrible side to side, right? So we want to keep that safe. As you push your right heel into the inside of your left thigh, push your left thigh into the inside of your heel. So both are meeting to the midline. Lean back. Yeah, let that heel do its work. Get nice and tall. Yep, start to sweep the heel or lengthen the sit bone. Notice how you want to keep going forward. Lean into that heel. Let that heel work. Yeah, that's why your heel bone is the biggest bone, right? It's because it's meant to dissipate that weight. Then here we go. Arms go up. Find the balance. Then here we go. Look up. Find the balance. Then if you want to keep going, close your eyes. And open the eyes. Exhale, release. Nice, y'all. Set the feet. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Now here's that, yeah, okay, chair pose. Utkatasana. We just talked about this. Your butt does not go to the sky here. It gently goes to your sit bones. That's too much. Sit back deeper. See how solid I am right here? Neutral. Sit back deeper. Lift those arms up. Pull those shutters closed. Slide that throat back. Sit back a little bit deeper. Push down, rise up. Nice, y'all. Exhale, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Keep the weight balanced in the feet. And then work that spine, whatever feels good to you. If holding static feels good, awesome. If you want to look forward on each inhale and be a little more dynamic or a little more active in the posture, awesome. Wherever you want to play. Couple more breaths. When you're ready, bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Right hand to the outside of left calf. Downward dog with a twist. Inhale, unwind, place the hand down. When you're ready, swap side two. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, lower your knees. Come to hero's pose. So the space between our knees will be different, but the outsides of our shins, all of them will be parallel with the sides of the mat. Turn your feet out like you're unsickling them, and you'll notice your butt will get a little closer to the floor. If it doesn't touch, no problem. Take the blanket or the block, just put it underneath and boost the floor up a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. Flick your toenails into the floor. Keep hugging the shins into the midline. Pull that pelvic floor and that belly up so you get nice and tall. Yep. Then take the hands behind you, and all you have to do is lean back here. So now we're making the crease at the hip go away. And here's how we get the quads. One of them, rectus femoris, is the one that's going to flex the hip and extend the knee. The rest are going to do the knee, okay? So as soon as we lay back, we start to open this up a little bit more. Now, there's a trick to going back to keep your low back safe. Play wherever you want. If you're ready to lay back, go for it. If you want me to talk you through, the idea is that you're going to root down into your legs and you're going to inhale like you breathe up out of your waist. Right, I'm peeling. Now as I lay back, I go belly button to spine, pubic bone to the ceiling, or sit bones to the backs of the knees, however you want to think of your pelvis, front or back. Now I can lay back a little bit further because my low back's filled in because I neutralized my pelvis. Then I do that again. Big inhale, exhale, belly to spine, pubic bone to the ceiling, and I can go back a little bit further. Now go slow. You might have to do another one. Keep working the neutrality in the pelvis. That's how you're going to get the pose to go deeper. Not by just forcing your body to the floor. Keep hugging the knees in. Now, when you come up on an inhale, come up tall. Right? We're peeling up. Then come up all fours. And then just take one leg back, open up the knee and the hip, take a couple breaths. Belly to spine.
And then lower that leg down, swap side 2. Headed throat back so the chin doesn't fall to the floor. And then lower the knee down. So we'll play with a little core here. We'll get into those lats if you want. So the idea that we'll play with today is we've already done downward dog to plank, right? So today we'll give ourselves a little challenge. What we're going to do is you set yourself up from downward dog, and you just take your hand so it's like just to the outside of your shoulder. You don't want it all the way to the midline. It's sometimes a little wide in downward dog, so this just helps bring it a little bit closer. Your other hand, you can float, or you can take your hand to your hip, and then you're going to come forward, and you're going to push back. And I'm going to come forward. I'm going to try to keep my hip, this right hip down. It's going to try to do this. I'm going to try to keep this going this way. So the action that you want to feel is front arm line. We talk about this all the time, right? We do those stretches to open up the front arm line. So what does this pec do? It does, well, what do all the internal rotators do? Or the adductors? They're going to do this or this, okay? So what you want to do is think of like you're hugging your arm, right? Would be pulling into your body like this. Well, you're trying to do the other thing. You're trying to pull your body into your arm. Does that make sense? So when I'm in this position, right, this wants to happen. I'm going to hug this way. Now I got this turned on real strong. Now I can try to keep myself as parallel as possible. Want to give it a try? So if you want to do 2 arms, awesome. If you want to do 1 arm, same awesome, right? It's just wherever you want to play. So let's come up all 4s, hands and knees. Take a breath, and then we'll meet back, downward dog. We'll go right arm first, so I'll walk my right arm in just an inch or 2. It doesn't need to be too far in, just a hair in. Now, if my feet were a little wider, that's going to give me a little more base too. If my feet are a little closer, it's going to be more challenging. Then I'm going to get light on my fingertips for this first one, right? Then I can lift the hand up. I feel, okay, I can hold myself up. Maybe I take it to my hip. Now the inhale comes forward to the plank. And then I push back, downward dog. I come forward, I drive into that plank. Push back to downward dog. Let's get 5. Stay with your breath. Keep rooting down into the thumb and the pointer finger side of the hand. And then after your 5, as you push back to downward dog, lower that left hand down. Remember, it's in just about an inch or so. And then when you're ready, right hand gets light. Maybe it goes to the hip. You come forward. Keep hugging to the inside of your pec there. So fire the chest up on that left side. Let your inhale come forward. Let your exhale push back. Keep the weight going into the knuckle pads and the fingertips. Don't let it go in the heel of the hand, or you're going to start to feel it in your wrist. Now I'm on my last one. When you're done with yours, back to downward dog. Lower that right hand down. Lower the knees. How we make out? Pretty good? Just another little challenge, right? What's another way that you can make that, you can play with it, right? By shortening or moving the feet like we were talking about. So hug in a little bit, and then maybe just shorten the space. You start to feel what happens. You strengthen up a little bit, and then you keep working out. Remember, we're supposed to be challenging ourselves, right? Like, yoga's fun, but we're exercising. That's what we're doing. We should be a little bit sweaty, right? We should be a little bit tired. Our body should be feeling a little bit. That's what we're doing. That's how we know we're getting to our edge. We're getting something accomplished. If you do shit that's easy all the time, where do you think that's getting you? The same place you are, right? It's called plateauing. You're just going to plateau. Come on, let's keep going. Inhale, come up. Right leg over left. Feet apart. Sit back between your heels. Left sit bone back and out. You could even take the right out and turn that right thigh in a little bit. And when you do that, what we're trying to do is we're trying to like take the sit bones and blossom them or widen them as compared to them tucking under,
right? Sit up nice and tall. So lean back a little bit. Now we can stay here, stay in the back of the hip. You can hinge. We work the upper body a little bit in that Gomukhasana variation, so we could do that if you want. So opposite elbow, then opposite knee. So your right knee is up, so that means we got to get our left elbow up. So bring your left arm in front, plug it in, bend the elbow, reach behind, like your hands between your shoulder blades. There's the up elbow. Then the right hand comes out to the side, turn your fingernails forward. You could also have the strap here in this left hand. You're going to drop it to that right, or you're going to bend that right elbow and wiggle your hand up and clasp your fingers. Yep. Now notice this is going to want to happen, so use the force feedback like we did before. Push your head back into your forearm and use that to sit up tall. Yep, pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Keep working those legs like you're adducting, like you're hugging into the midline. Couple more breaths. And then control it as you release the arms. Then the legs.
Come up all fours. We'll swap side too.
Right sit bone back and out, the bottom one, then the top. Yeah. Nice and active. Like on the inside, like what my hips feel like right now is this. Do I let my face show that? No. My face is like, this isn't even challenging. I'm sweating bullets on the inside, right? I'm not letting myself see myself sweat because then I'm going to start panicking. I keep everything smooth. Okay, for me, this is a challenging stretch. I'm just going to be in the moment, right, and do the best that I can. Now we're going to go Gomukhasana, right arm, plug, bend, reach behind. Here's where your strap would be up. You're going to drop it. Left hand, fingernails forward, bend the elbow, start to reach up. Now, you're not going to get anything else out of that left side. The way to get a little bit further here is to take right shoulder back. So root back, and then your hands will get closer. The left one's at max, right? That's the end range of motion in the joint. That's how, like, you know, you subdue someone, right? By taking their arm this way. That's because it can't move anymore, right? That's what we're trying to, like, balance out here with the right arm. So keep rooting back and getting the space made here. Yep, couple more breaths. And then watch the control. Yep, so we don't boing. And then we unwind that top leg. And then just reach one leg back. A lot going on there. And then swap side two. And then lower it down. Two options. Right arm up, left leg back, spinal balance, or we're going to come to plank balance. And we'll alternate here. Okay? So set yourself up either all fours or step back to plank. Your feet being a little bit wider might help hold the pose a little bit. And when you're ready, right arm up, left leg back. Thumb points up, toes point down, exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm up, right leg back. Exhale, lower. Work on your breath. Keep the belly button working to the spine. There's that one arm again. Thumb and pointer finger side. Remember that pec? Keep hugging. One more each side. Keep your breath calm. And then after you balance both sides,
Lower the knees. Sit back on your heels. Grab a little drink. Take a little break. Child's pose if you want. Does that feel like it's blowing?
No.
Would you mind checking for me? Thank you. I like to see a little glisten, but we don't want to glisten too much. It went back up. It felt a little bit. It's that sound you got to listen for, that compressor kicking on, right? All right, inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. When you're ready, step back to plank, downward dog. Let's just flow a little bit, so work through your vinyasa 3 times. Remember, taking those muscles through their range of motion is really good for them. So as we flow a little bit, keep that in mind. The idea is we want to move. We want to see if we can control all that we just built up in some of those static holds. Can we do it when we're moving a little bit? Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, pigeon. So, I do my pose like this all the time, but I tend to show y'all when we're working like upper backs, when I go into pigeon, like what wants to dominate pigeon is this. And you want to put all your weight into your forearms and you want to dump your weight into like your arms, right? But the pose is all the weight should be most of the weight should be in the legs. So when I do this pose, I tend to take my hands out to the side like this and I soften my chest down. And now what this is forcing me to do is, you could see, my fingers are light. They're there giving me support. But what I'm doing is I'm keeping the spine nice and long, and I'm keeping that power in my legs. And then the extra piece I'm getting is my spine is in this nice neutral thoracic extension here. So I'm letting those muscles start to work in that nice even place. This is like Tadasana in the upper back. Now, if it feels good for you to put your forearms on the ground, go for it. If it feels good to do this little variation, go for it. It's whatever feels good. Is there, in the pose though, is there a right and a wrong? There is. You don't want to collapse into the pose. You want to fold or move into the space. And then inhale, come up, bend that left knee, reach back with your right hand. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. For the twist. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Start to open the right side of the chest towards the sky. Start to draw that left heel towards that left sit bone. But don't lose the belly, don't lose the shutters. And then watch the boing as you release the back foot. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands, lift the hips. Unwind that right leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Exhale, lower it down. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Pigeon. Push out of the big toe mound. Pull the pinky toe side of the foot back. Hug those knees in. Hug the shins in. Remember, so much power in the legs. If I wanted to take my hands off the floor, I can. I can still hold all this. Then if I want to fold, I walk the hands out. I take them wide so they're off my mat. They're probably about like 3 or 4 inches off each side of the mat, my thumbs, and then I soften. right? Soften is controllable. Collapsing is not. Even here, my chin wants to fall like this. So I got to keep sliding the back of my throat to the ceiling. Because you know where the head goes and the neck goes, the upper back's going next. Keep that right sit bone reaching back to the wall behind you. Keep the left one lengthening down. So 2 different actions there. Nice opener in the back of the hip and down the back of the leg. And then inhale, come up, bend that right knee, reach back with the left hand. Belly, shudders, open the left side of the chest. Then start to draw that heel towards the sit bone. Yeah, don't let that belly fall to the floor. Keep pulling it in. Keep the top of the pelvis working back. One more breath. Watch the boing. Inhale, unwind. Place the hands. Lift the hips, unwind that left leg. Lower the leg down. Exhale, lower your knees. All right, so we spent a little extra time doing some different things today. So why don't we'll stay in the middle of the floor. We'll do a quick crow, okay? Those of you that want to hit your inversion out of your crow, you can. Then we're going to hit a wilding for our back bends. We've done a bunch of twists, so we'll do a quick little twist and a little happy baby, and we'll be on our long sunny day today. All right, so we'll give it a go. So when you're ready, push back. We'll meet squat pose, Malasana. Notice how I want to collapse into the arches. So I'm going to lift the arches and I'm going to bring a little bit of weight to the outer edges of my feet. Your knees can track your toes. That'll be the safest for your knees. Hug in first. Now push away. Now drive your elbows down into your knees and you could rework your upper back a little bit. Yep. Now breathe. If you want to stay here, stay here. You want to work crow, Bakasana, you're going to place your hands down. Your knees are on the outside back of your arms. Walk your feet together first so your big toes touch. Look forward. As the weight comes forward, pull the heels towards your butt. And then you'd go from your crow, you got to dip under. So I got to bring my head closer to my hands as my head comes to the floor. Then I tend to release my knees here. Then I go up this way. I keep plugging my shoulders back. Then when I come back down, I'm going to bring my knees to the backs of my arms. I'm going to look forward. And that's how I come back out. The same way. See, I had to go forward and up, just like I had to go under and down. Stay to the tops of your heads, nice and high. Yeah. Nice, y'all. Exhale as you take those legs to the sky. Because that's going to get you into the core a little more. Keep hugging your elbows in, huh? Keep going this way. Yeah. It happens. I lost it a little bit too, right? Shit happens. All right. Let's take a breath. Let's meet downward dog. We're going to get into this wild thing. Work that upper back one more time here. So from downward dog, just pedal a little bit, swivel a little bit, right? Whatever feels good to you. Just get that engine running again. All right, here we go. Take a breath. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top or in front. Come into side plank. We've been on that one arm a few times today. So root to the inner edge, the thumb and the pointer finger side. Now lift, spread the toes, lift that left leg, bend the knee, and slowly step it behind you. Curl into the upper back. So you got to keep turning the biceps forward. Reach towards the front of the room. Yeah, soften your face. Yes, breathe. One more breath. Now inhale, come back. Side plank. Then come back to plank. Yep, push back, downward dog. Nice, y'all, stay with us. Right, just another little play. Roll to the outside of the left foot, stack the right foot on top or in front. So here I'm showing you the backside. See how I got to turn the bicep forward to root into the upper back. Then I spread the toes on the right foot. I abduct, or I lift that leg up. I bend the knee, and I control it as I step behind. Now fire up those legs. Now keep turning that bicep forward to root into the upper back. Reach the arm up overhead. Curl into the upper back. Soften your face. Yep, be in this moment, this challenging moment. Now inhale, come back to side plank. Yep, then come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Bend those knees real deep here. Yeah, nice and deep on the knee bend. And then lower the knees, spin around to your backs. Nice, y'all. Fun pose, right? Wild thing. Hug your right knee to your chest. Just roll towards that left hip. Take a little twist here. You can always bend this bottom knee if you want to soften it up a little bit, or you keep it straight. I like to reach out of the heel on that bottom leg, help extend out. That simulates the run action as well. One knee bent, one leg straight. Inhale, come back to center, swap the legs. Roll towards the right hip. Belly in, shutters closed. So we rotate through that spine. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, both legs out. Arms up overhead, take a big stretch. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Feel all that space you made. Then hug those knees to your chest. Final pose, Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Knees nice and wide here. Sacrum flat. So sit bones should feel like they're working down towards the yoga mat, not up to the sky. And then you can reach one leg out, both legs out. You can rock side to side, whatever feels good. Nice opener in the back of the hip and inside of the thighs here. And then inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation if you like. For your low back, if you lift up the fleshiness of your butt, push it towards your heels, and then place your butt back on the floor. And there'll be this nice settling over the low back and through the pelvis. Upper back would be like a heart bench. And here as we lay back, it's that time to let go, to release, to submit. So the legs stretch out and the feet gently roll open. The arms come along the sides. We let the shoulders settle back and the open palm turn to the sky. As the head rests back, maybe we let our eyes close. We allow the tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth. As we continue to feel the body getting heavier. The mind softening back to the breath. The heart opening. Our practice takes us to places that once were a challenge to just are now part of our practice. And we honor the work that we did to get there. You should be proud of the work. There's a challenge each time you come to the mat, and you work hard to make that change. That's part of the reward. You do the work, you make the change. We move better. We're stronger. We're more in tune with each other. We're conscious of the energy that we let out. We're conscious of the energy we're willing to receive. We know that at each moment we can take a breath. We can reset a foundation.
We can engage so we can express a little bit better. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. As the breath washes over the body, feel it in every part, from your toes to your fingers, through the crown of your head, through the heart, as we reawaken that better version of ourselves, ready to move the yoga from the mat to the yoga of life. As the connection grows a little deeper, maybe start to move the fingers and the toes, stretch the arms and the legs. Move in some way that feels good to you, taking your time, moving slowly. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Push your hands down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and with our hands in front of our hearts. Anjali Mudra. One more time to seal in our practice, to seal in our time together with our Kula, our yoga family. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work and that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone. Super fun as always. You know, if you have any questions, get me before you go. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. If not, I'll see you soon. Thanks, crew. Home crew, you know, if you need me, hit me up.